In the 15 years I practiced, we've had the good fortune to represent literally thousands of people in all areas of law, including workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability. But I have a few cases that stand out in my memory as big cases that I've had that I've really helped different individuals. In one personal injury matter, I represented a gentleman who was driving home from work. It was late at night. He had a night shift job and got T-boned by a drunk driver. And the drunk driver had absolutely no insurance whatsoever, which is unfortunately all too common in Florida. I was able to represent my client. He fortunately had a relatively decent-sized uninsured motorist policy, which I was able to get the insurance company obviously to tender due to the extent of his injuries. His injuries were so severe that to this day he is still bound to a wheelchair. But what we were able to do for our client, he had close to $1 million in hospital bills. And we negotiated with the hospital to the point where actually I got them to waive their entire cost so that my client could realize what money he had in uninsured motorist, because that is all he was going to get, as the driver had nothing else. And that's why we encourage all of our clients carry an uninsured motorist policy. We cannot emphasize that enough, because this is the prime case that I use as an example to all of my clients as to why you need one of these policies, because if he had not had that, this man is bound to a wheelchair and would have gotten nothing except $1 million worth of medical bills with no income or no source of recovery at all without that policy. So that is probably one of my standout personal injury cases I remember, because not so much that it was getting him the money from his policy, but also able to go beyond to the hospital and getting them to reduce their cost to literally zero so that he would actually realize something for what he'd had to go through and the major life change that accident caused him.